If you're trying to break into cybersecurity right now by applying for junior level roles, then I think you're making a massive mistake. So if your belief system right now is, oh, I just need to find this entry level job and they'll train me on the job, then this video is for you, because I am going to show you why this strategy is dead and what actually works in 2026. Back when I joined cybersecurity, say 2015 to 2020, it was a much different landscape. Companies would hire these junior level pen testers, even if they were coming in with zero experience, and they would just train them on the job. They had their own kind of internal mentorship programs, and they would hold your hand pretty much from day one. That is why some of the common sentiment out there online is, yeah, apply to these junior level roles. But that is not really how things are working anymore. If we fast forward to the modern day here in 2026, we see that these roles have virtually disappeared. And there's a lot of people that I've been talking to, and they're like, where are the entry level jobs? I'm not seeing it anymore. And the reality is that nowadays, most companies are going to expect you to be able to hit the ground running from day one. There's a lot of budget cuts and things like that that have eliminated these training programs and dedicated mentorship as well. If you're watching this video and you just want to kind of cut to the chase, shortcut the challenges in 2026 and really just arm yourself with the training and mentorship to break into this field as quickly as possible, check the link down in the description below and book a call, and we'll get you on the path. Let's get into the first things first, and that is the competition nightmare that we are experiencing in the current job market with cybersecurity and pretty much all tech jobs. And the psychology is that everyone thinks that they can get a junior level role. That's the idea, right? When people are job searching and they're new to this stuff, maybe they've never worked in cybersecurity before. If they see something like a mid-level role, they're less likely to apply to it because they see all these requirements that they clearly don't meet, and they think, why would I apply to this job? There's no chance that I could get hired for this. I'm just going to apply to one that I think I can get, right? And so the reality is a lot of these mid-level roles, maybe they get like 100 applicants, whereas the junior level roles have like 1,000 plus, because everyone sees that and they're like, oh, this is an entry-level job. I would qualify for this. I could get this. So they apply to that. And so you end up finding that these junior level roles, if they even exist, they are out there. There's just way fewer of them, which also means that the same people are applying to those jobs. So that's why you have 1,000 plus applicants on those. They end up being hyper competitive. And here's the reality as well. These companies know that these are competitive roles whenever they post them up. So you actually end up getting really lowballed on the offer. I've seen entry-level pen testing jobs, for example. If we go back to 2015 or so, that same role, they would be paying $70K back then. Now they're paying you like 40 to 50. And these are also pretty terrible conditions, because usually there's no like extra programs or investing they're going to do in you as an employee. Like, they're not going to invest in training. They're going to make you pay out of pocket for all the trainings that you want to take. And they're very take it or leave it. You have zero leverage in these type of job opportunities. Because they know that they can lowball you like this. And if you say no, well, guess what? There's like 999 other people that are lining up and would take that. So they often do things like bait and switches, where even as well, like, they'll advertise it as a junior role, but the expectations are mid-level. And beyond that, there's the skills gap issue as well, right? So they might advertise that, oh, we'll train you on the tools and the processes, but in reality, there's this disconnect between the HR and the hiring manager, where the HR is posting it as a junior, marketing as junior level, but then the hiring manager expects people with experience. So these companies are essentially wanting to pay you a junior salary for senior level work. And the next thing is that of false hope as well. So you will see people sending out, and maybe this is you, sending out endless applications and wasting months applying to these junior level roles and constantly getting rejected. And that can really wear on your confidence. I don't care how superhuman you are, when you constantly get rejected, it can tend to make you question your own abilities in the field. And then maybe you end up giving up thinking, there's no chance. If I can't even get this junior level role, then how am I going to get anything, right? And so there ends up being this true opportunity cost. So the time you spend chasing these fake junior roles could be time spent building real skills that will actually get you hired. So you see the cycle of apply, reject, and then give up. And that can be absolutely soul crushing. So I like to be solution oriented on this channel. What is the solution? What actually works in this landscape, given that this is the reality? How do we navigate that? Well, first of all, I want to say you definitely need to skip the junior title. I would instead target roles based on the actual requirements, not just the junior in the job title. And secondly, you want to build yourself up to where you would qualify for the mid-level roles. Now, I also want to really define what I mean by qualify, because when you think of qualify, you're probably looking at the job description and being like, okay, to qualify for this, I need to meet the requirements, right? That makes sense, right? But here's the thing. The job hunting process in 2026 is not logical. I've never once applied to a single job in cybersecurity that I met the requirements for. And by extension, I don't know anyone that has either. And what really drove this home for me was when I was about a year and a half into working in cybersecurity, and I was getting a ton of reach outs from recruiters that, they saw my profile. They said, hey, I think you'd be a great fit for this, opportunity. And so I would follow up with them, and, it'd be for pen testing roles and things like that. And they would say, hey, like, just as a formality, I'm going to forward you on to the hiring manager, but as a formality, can you fill out the job application so we have you on file? And I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. So they send it over to me. And I remember looking at him and being like, why did they apply? Why did they recommend me for this position? I don't even meet half of these requirements. And, moreover, I've seen things like requiring 5 years experience with a tool that came out 3 years ago and everything like that. But, in the jobs that I went through those interviews for and I landed the job, every single time I'd look around the room and be like, oh, wow, there's 12, 13 other pen testers on here, and they said OSCP was a requirement. No one on this team has OSCP. What's going on? Right? There'd be all these requirements, and I'd look around, no one else had it. That's when it really started to click with me. Wow, okay, what some of these other content creators I was watching at the time were saying, oh, don't worry about their job requirements. This is what they meant by that. So it is a real thing. That's when it really started to click with me. So first of all, understand that as you're targeting the mid-level roles, you want to build up your skill set, but also a huge part of it is building up your proof of work as well. So this is where your things like portfolio projects come into play, things that can demonstrate that you actually have this real, hard skill set. And also how you position yourself is super important. You want to stand out. So by definition, that is going to require you to position yourself differently than everyone else. So look at those high impact skills that are super high in demand but low in supply. Things like AI security, things like maybe cloud security, and things like that are really going to be out of the ordinary versus what 1,000 other people might have on their portfolios. Also, focus on your value, what you bring to the table. Show what you can do and highlight the skills that you have. If you've come from a background like another IT related or tangentially related field, highlight the aspects of your job that are as close to cybersecurity as possible. Everyone has their own unique value proposition to bring to the table. I don't care if you worked as a trucker previously. There's something that you could use to position yourself advantageously. So definitely do that. And, highlight any alternative paths you might have gone down as well. Like if you've done some freelance projects, consulting, or other specialized niches, if framed well, can come into play. if you want just a done for you solution on this, if you want a program that's going to include all this, going to include guaranteed freelance contracts as well, guaranteed job experience, and just to optimize yourself as much as possible, check the link down in the description below. We can jump on a call. I can go over your situation, see if it makes sense for you, and give you the full path to really optimizing that on your journey into cybersecurity in 2026. But if you're going through the job search process right now and you're feeling like you're just struggling out there to make sense of it, one of the main issues could be your resume as well. So check out the video in the link in the description, where I will be going over a solid cybersecurity resume, as well as giving you a template that you can plug and play to immediately boost your success rate in the job search right now.